Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, joined with hubby.
Okay.
And today we are making clouds on the Grand Canyon piece from a couple of years ago. In fact, I think it's been 2 years now. And we're going to darken it up some. Now, I did want to, before we get all of this started, talk about the heat gun. And I told you guys I bought a bunch of different tips. Well, I learned something. Freaked me out. Freaked me out. So I intentionally wanted these tiny tips. And you see how little, and I'll give you a comparison to the big one. See how little that is? Well, when I put one of these on my heat gun, Wednesday I think it was, and I had my the airflow at 5.5 actually when we left the live last week. And
Go get her out of here.
Had it at 500 degrees because that's what I'd been working on. My heat gun freaked out. And when I say freak out, it went up to 506 on the numbers, which it's not supposed to go to. The fan on the heat gun sounded funny. When I put it down on his handpiece, it wasn't cooling off. And I finally got it to cool off so I could turn it off. And I think what happened is with those very tiny tips, if you buy a bunch of tips and you buy a heat gun to add with your burning, make sure your airflow is at around 3 and slowly raise your temperature and pay attention and make sure nothing's freaking out. Because I'm wondering, because the hole is so small, if it was holding in too much heat and heating up the gun the way it shouldn't be. I did try on a piece yesterday to put it on and go with a lower airflow and go with a lower temperature and work up, and I just didn't feel for what we are doing that it burned correctly. So I can see it useful for what it's made for. Remember, we're not using it for what it's made for. We are using it for burning. Might want to skip those, or at the very least, test yours if you bought it, but start off low and then work your way up. So real quick, I am going to quickly, I've got a bigger tip. This tip is okay to use, and actually I should have switched tips. We'll go with the clouds. I'm going to put it down because I get said yes.
Did you already say hi to everybody?
I did not. Hey, Andrea, Spence, Sonia, Keela, Carrie. I'm going to turn it upside down so it's easier for me to reach.
Spence says your hair looks very nice.
Oh, thank y'all. Thank y'all. It decided to be okay today. Alrighty. So I have noticed my heat gun, it makes this, you can hear the fan, and then in about a minute it clicks and you don't hear it so much. Now, a recap on the burning. This is on the Trekell birch. It's going to burn like every other thing differently than the basswood. I'm just quickly testing.
Is this a solid piece of wood?
No, this is, it's not a veneer, it's an actual piece of birch on top, but it is a plywood. Plywood meaning multiple layers with glue in between.
But that first layer is pretty thick.
It's solid wood.
Okay.
It's solid.
Links lady, Shirley is here.
Hey, Shirley. I actually do want to go with a bigger tip on this, because for clouds, I gotta let this cool off. Why are you not leaving off?
And Carmen.
Okay, this heat gun. I may have burned this heat gun out.
How?
Luckily, you can buy a replacement.
How did you burn it out?
I don't know. Okay, now it's starting to... Another thing with these tiny tips, and I'm guessing this tip is considered too small for what it's doing. They take longer to cool off. So I'm actually going to turn it off. Go ahead and hook up my new heat gun so that we can keep going. If we weren't doing that, then I would just keep going. So the tip I want to go with is bigger than what I had on. And this way I can just unplug that one. I'll let it cool off and we'll go from there. It might be okay for bigger tips, but maybe that it has an issue with the smaller tips. Again, for what we are doing, we're burning for long periods of time. Versus if you've purchased this to actually do like the solder and electronic work, you're not going to be burning for, 45 minutes to an hour like I've been doing. Now this is actually a smaller. I'm trying to tighten it up. Unfortunately on Amazon they don't tell you the sizes. Alright, that's not going to work. Let's see if this one works. Guess we're stuck, and I'll have to send this one back.
Burl's here.
Hey, Burl. Because that tip didn't hook up. Ah, the joys of doing things live when you don't expect things.
That's all right. That's how people get to see the whole process.
All right, I got it tightened down. I think because I'd already used this tip, so metal expands and contracts when it heats and cools, and sometimes the metal doesn't want to move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this pin off, this gun off. I'll let it sit there. I'll have to take it off though. There we go. This is hot.
It's hot?
Yes, it's hot.
Am I taking all of this?
Oh, yeah, I disconnected the whole thing because I'm going to plug in the new pin.
Okay. So what do you think is wrong with this?
I think because of how I'm using it, it may cause issue.
Hopefully it'll be okay.
So this is the bigger tip. Let's plug it in. Luckily, it's not about the base. Haha! It's a song. That's why I laughed.
I got it. Teresa is here.
Hey, Teresa. So I'm watching to see how fast this one heats up. This one has not been used, so there's going to be a little smell for a minute. That just is normal anytime you're turning on things with heat. Taking a little longer to warm up compared to the other handpiece. But it is going. I have my airflow at 4.5. I think my biggest recommendation, if you've already purchased one, take more breaks.
Troy's here.
Hey Troy. Take more breaks. That way you allow the heat gun to cool down. And I think there'll be less of an issue. Yeah, this one, the other handpiece was already like heated. I'd say the beauty of buying on Amazon is I can return it and get a whole new setup. But I have been burning for like long periods of time without giving the handpiece a rest. And again, this wasn't created for burning. Alright, here we go. So it is going to work out differently. So now for the clouds, I turn the airflow down because I don't want anything black. I want it the same caramel as the rest of the bird. I'm a little bit away, and I'm just moving around. If I sit in one place too long, it's going to get much darker. But this, I want to slowly work up the darks. And I know that could be frustrating. But sometimes having that patience may be hard to see. Let's angle it.
Mr. Fence, what?
Huh? Hey, Mr. Fence.
I don't know.
Oh, Spence. He's talking to Spencer.
Oh, gotcha.
He's
Fence.
He's talking to Spencer. I am feeling like more air coming off. You can see my hair moving. This wasn't going on with the other handpiece. Although I'm sure I could contact the company and ask just to replace the handpiece and not the whole setup. Because I don't think the base is an issue. I don't think I've had any issue with the base.
You know, I see an issue with the design of it, though.
With the base?
No, with the tips.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're made to clamp on there, but the heat comes out and it's going to hit that at 90 degrees. It's not beveled inside there. If it was beveled, it would funnel the heat in better. But I think this way it's pushing a lot of that heat.
And
it's pushing it back into
the handpiece.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that may be why when I tried the smaller tips again, I tried the straight ones, not the angled ones. And that's where I found I didn't have an issue.
Okay.
So maybe it is the angled ones for the higher heat. Because like the bigger tips don't give me that issue on the angles. But that is a smaller tip, and that may be why. And that's why I recommended starting off slow. Now birch requires a higher heat. I bumped it up to 450. And see, I'm getting air coming off of this one, off this gun. To me, it's more a pen.
From where?
From right here. It's coming off from right where the silver and the black meet. That's right here where it says hot, upside down. That's where I'm getting it from.
So I wonder if that's I have many questions.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that to cool down so I can plug it back in.
Okay.
And switch the tip.
Gotcha.
Size-wise, like of the handpiece, I don't feel a difference. But it does feel like there was a difference in the size of the end. But I have to look. It just may be me being in more of a hurry because we're live. I'm going to go ahead and bump it to 500. Now, with this, the clouds are not so obvious in the photo. But I think I want more obvious clouds. I want it to look more, I think, like a thunderstorm.
Okay.
Coming in. Like a monsoon coming in.
Yeah, I can already see that I'm seeing the darkness.
Because I angled the camera, you guys can see it better than I can.
Yeah.
Because of the light.
Yeah, if we could get these... It's too bad that I don't have any kind of engineering, fabrication, because I could see a better way for these tips. Because they should be, like... you know how, like, when you have the frosting bags and the tips for the frosting bags?
Yes.
You know how, like, they're beveled the funnel, the frosting in? Like, on the inside?
Yes.
That's what these need to do.
Gotcha.
And, because that hard stop, it's creating it's still going to push air out, but it's creating a hard stop, which is going to recirculate air back towards
there. Now I can see
the
better.
Source. And that may be causing it to heat up more than it's supposed to.
Yeah, I think you're right. But if somebody was just working on a PC at really low temperatures to resolder, it wouldn't be a problem. Again, this is based on what I'm doing with it, which is not what it was necessarily created for.
Yeah. Huh. But what we might be able to do, actually, as I'm looking at the tip.
Like I said, the bigger ones that are angled don't have an issue.
Yeah.
We used that last week.
Well, I think that there's enough airflow through it that it doesn't create that much resistance.
Yeah.
I think the resistance is what's doing it. So
that's what I thought.
So it might not even be the angle. I mean, the angle would help for sure, but you might have to go with a lower airflow on the smaller tips.
And I did that. In fact, that's...
Yeah.
I'm kind of using the grain a little bit to get some shape.
Now, to me, it looks a little gray in areas. Is that just a...
Is that on the camera, or is that my shadow?
It's on the camera. Oh. Maybe it's your shadow.
Okay.
I don't know, Carmen. I don't know if Pat could figure out something or not.
Well, I sent him a message. By all means, tell him to read my message. I've been busy, so I haven't been able to call him.
I mean, I could fabricate something with, like, Bondo, which or not Bondo, but there's a JB weld, you know, which is heat resistant, and that could funnel it in a little bit better, but I don't know at that angle it might not make that much of a difference. You'd need like a much shallower angle going into the tip. It would look like the end of a cake decorating, you know, nozzle, basically.
All right, that worked.
Yeah.
Can I go ahead and have that? I'm gonna switch to a bigger tip. Just yeah, there we go.
I was just checking it. It's my job. It's still warm.
Yeah.
Might still be hot.
I always assume something's hot for safety reasons.
It's a good plan.
Because this is hot right here. I can still feel the heat. I always assume it's hot. Yeah, see, this end is different than the end. On the end on the new one, it indents right here and is even narrower. That explains a lot to me. Alrighty, I am going to use which tip for what I'm doing. I think I'm just going to go up to the next size. Come on. Gotta be careful with that. I just healed my finger. You just have to loosen it up enough to get it all the way down. You make sure there's no gap in between because then air will start leaking out.
Yeah.
And tighten it up real quick. Keep it from turning. I do like that these came with good tweezers. It's not meant for changing out things. It's meant, you know, as a set for reworking solder. I know this tip will be fine with this. Alright, come out. Come out. There we go. Hot.
Hot.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel as hot.
It doesn't feel as hot. I didn't fully let it cool down. Big no-no, but I gotta go.
Oh, there's a bird. It's gone. It was just like flying around in the window.
Yeah, see, this one heats up much quicker. And we're to 500 already.
So the headset's okay?
It is with these bigger tips. That's why I knew I could switch.
Gotcha.
I still have my airflow it's at 5.5. And since I'm doing the clouds and I want to get them in. Now, I was paying attention to how I was getting close to an area and trying not to overburn. And I was paying attention to where I was putting the tip. So if I had graphite, I was picking one side or the other to have that run. See how fast, how much better I can actually bump it down to 400 to follow the line and look forward to where I was going. Let's see if I can find a better.
Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go outside and cough this out.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to blow out people's ears.
You okay? So right here where I've already burnt, I am trying, because this area is lighter, I'm visually looking on the left side of the tip, and it's kind of hard, the camera's running it along my line, because I know if I go over that line, it's going to burn in, which it already did because I pulled out too far. It's alright. I lowered the temperature to 400. It's definitely a practice. But I can sand that out a little bit if I want. We'll see how it looks with everything else before I decide. Let's see here, how does it look on camera? See, I'm trying to make some poofy ones here, which means I need some darker ones behind it. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in this area. We get wonderful storm clouds here. I'm going to back this out, kind of turn it a little bit. Let's see where we're at. Put it on my lap. Carefully. So I want this to be the darkest area. And see, it is changing colors, and I didn't want that. But I do think I should be able to go back over there if I wanted to with like an 18. Kind of change the color a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry.
And this is what I was worried about for doing this. The color is changing on.
Well, looks good to me.
It has too much of a gray tone for what I want.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can blend it in though.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep working it. I'm not gonna get ticked off yet. Not yet. The thing is I do plan on going over some of the canyon, so it will kind of tie in the color. Now with clouds, they don't tend to have as much light. Thunderstorm clouds. They have less light and more dark, and that's why when you see them, what little light they have tends to be on the top because the sun is above. So you get that hint that really shapes them. Unless, of course, you're in the middle of a tornado, and that's different.
Carmen says from here it looks like clouds forming. Which it does.
Well, right now I'm going over areas I've already burned. That I burned really light. Now I need dark right here because this is the lightest. This right here is the lightest ridge. Right here is the lightest, and where I accidentally overshot are the lightest. See, I darkened up my photo, but it's not as much as I want. I want it to be more dramatic on the clouds. Because when the monsoons come in, including over the canyon, they are really dark and they are really in-your-face storm clouds.
Yeah, that's true.
So I want that. I should have pulled a reference for what I want, but just so I had a visual of what needs to be darker where.
I think you're doing fine.
So right here, I can actually go over because this is all in shadow. Let's see here. You still on camera? I'm trying to...
Yeah, you are.
I've got it on my lap in order for me to
No, you're on the camera.
move it around easier.
It's just the tip of it, but you can see what you're doing. Shirley likes the soft, even color the gun produces. I do too. I think it's quite pleasant. Because...
It is, but the rest of my burning isn't the same color. And that's where, if I did all of it, it'd be totally different. And I am going to go over with the gun, so that will help. We started putting in clouds quickly. Let's see here. Coming up. I'm trying to picture it. It's not monsoon season yet, so I'm trying to picture it. It's gonna need more darks to really pop them out. Because depending on where the sun is, so based on how I burn this, the sun is right pointing here, so we will have light here on the clouds because the sun is in front of the clouds versus above or behind. So I have to take that into consideration. And we do have clouds. Like I said, I don't like that right there. I will fix it. I really need this dark to make this glow. Plus, when I put in the darks down here, this area will really give you that feeling that light is hitting it.
How are you going to handle the transition off the rocks to the sky? Are you going to use a mask, or are you going to go over that with a regular tip?
What do you mean?
Like on the far right.
Far right over here.
Yes. Down where it's really dark.
Down here?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
Okay. Well, yeah.
But I'm gonna move quickly because I do not want any kind of air blobs. Look at that. I have to create a new term. Air blobs. I'm trying to think as I've been going. The bigger tips, the wider tips, do better at blending in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I found with.
Shirley says the grain of the wood almost makes it look like there's rain coming. From
Yeah,
the
a little bit, because
kind of cool.
Like that. Yeah.
It's a neat observation, Shirley.
Let's see here. See, it's already gotten darker. I am going to quickly switch. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
I do try to use a tip on all the areas that I would need it. Back it out like this. Yeah, as soon as I put these darks in, that won't look so out of place.
Yeah.
Once I put these darks in and down here and darken some of the water, the clouds will look like everything was intentional the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shirley's right. This is like glazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I need a drink. Need a drink. Luckily, like I said, the bigger tips cool quicker. Sorry, I was thirsty. So we're gonna, the darkest area is right here. See, I darkened up this photo. So right here is the darkest. Down here. And then into here is dark. And then right here along the river. And then I do need to darken areas of the water. But other than this line right here, this right here and this right here needs to be the lightest, looking at my reference. Come on, I need to switch to, need to go. And then I have a sepia one up here too. One over here. And this is the darkest area, followed by some of the ridge here and some of the ridge here, along here, the water. And then I've already got dark bushes and rocks down here. I can just overall kind of tint it a little darker with the heat gun. So I guess it's airbrushing with heat.
Yes, exactly. Spent glazing is like, it's an oil painting term. And basically it means like a thin coat of color that tints.
So that you can see the color below it.
Yep.
Through the color you put on top. Which
is what's happening here. And like when you're airbrushing, it's not considered glazing. You're just adding another like thin transparent layer if you're doing that way. Different ways you can do it with different mediums, but Shirley is correct. It is just like that, just like glazing.
I'm trying to figure out.
So I can see now.
Side.
I can see now the color difference that you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a little bit grayer.
Yeah, but once I darken some of these other areas up, it will go together.
But I do like the pattern of the clouds that you've created. It's really cool.
Well, I did have some light burning that I went over and just built it up more. Right now I'm trying to decide, this one's a little bit bigger than this one, so I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to start off with the smaller one. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. We're at 116. So the biggest thing I can see tip-wise that's going to be a problem is stripping out these screws.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue I can see.
Well, I don't know. They're on a nut there, and that nut shouldn't strip out.
No, it's the head that's going to strip out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's the head that's going to strip out.
Yeah, because it's kind of a wide... It probably would have been better if it was a smaller cross tip pattern, but it's kind of wide, so there's not much... It would be easy to bore that out, strip it out.
Yeah. Actually, one of them came stripped.
Oh, that's not good.
But I had some of the same, so I just used a screw from an extra.
Troy says it's looking great.
Thank you. Alrighty. Just turn it back on. I'm gonna go with get the hair out of my face. No!
Did it just shut down?
It did.
It's coming back.
Oh, it shouldn't have been heating up in the first place because I hadn't pulled it off of its handpiece. So it shouldn't have even been heating up. I am going to contact the company and say, send me a new handpiece.
So do you think it's a sensor in there?
There is a magnet in this handpiece, and then there's a magnet in the holder. And so when you connect the magnets together, it tells the sensor inside to start cooling off.
Gotcha. Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe that there's a problem with I've got my wireless phone charger, and if I don't set it down on the charger exactly right, it won't activate.
It does need to be on the correct side, yes, but it started heating up before I picked it up. That's why it cut off, because it shouldn't have been heating. It's not supposed to heat up until you remove the handpiece. And then when you're done and you put the handpiece on, it's the sensor in the handpiece, the magnets connect, and it's supposed to start cooling it off.
Okay.
Now, I'm intentionally far behind, or further away, because I'm trying to build this up. I don't want the grayness if I can help it. Yeah, I'm going to contact the company and have them send me a new handpiece.
Okay.
Because obviously something's not. And that, got a little gray there. That will be my deciding factor on this company is if they replace a handpiece. Because this is within, well, it's within 30 days on Amazon, so I could actually return it to Amazon and get a new one. But I'm in the middle of a project and I can't afford to do that time-wise. I'm going to go ahead and go up to 500.
It's not a square hole for the driver. It's just, it's a cross tip, but there's not, it would accommodate a very thick cross tip, and it probably should have been a smaller cross tip pattern than what it is, because it makes it prone to stripping out.
I don't want to put the handpiece down, but I guess I will in order to get this to... It's already starting. Let me grab a brand new one.
Yeah.
Because the heat is already affecting them.
Yeah, so it's not a square hole, but it kind of almost might as well be, because that's a pretty wide aperture for the cross tip to go into.
Let's see if I can get this to come on to focus. I don't have autofocus on.
Like
Let's do
what you could do is, like, we could go to Home Depot and find a replacement screw.
Yeah,
Of that size that is maybe like a star tip, or or a better.
It does
pattern.
look like a Phillips, but it's a little more open. I'm using a Phillips to switch out.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a Phillips. It's not a star or anything like that. It's just it's not. Like I said, it would be very prone to stripping out.
So I still want this to look sandy. I don't want to get rid of all the texture. But it does need to darken up, including the trail down here. So I'm at 500 and at 4.5 airflow.
Okay.
Just darkening. And this way I can go back and forth with the clouds, because right now, not having these other darks, it looks off for me.
Yeah.
But once I can get this, the darkness I wanted, then I can tell how much more the clouds need. So you can see I'm pretty far away. I'm a couple of inches away.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to control the color based on how close I am and how quick I move. But it is starting to dark out. Gotta be patient. I mean, I could really like push in and get it dark, but that's not what I want. That is not what I want. Make sure I'm still on camera. Let's see here. This trail isn't as bright as I've got it, but that also means this needs to darken out.
Shirley says, wow, there is so much more depth on the right side now.
Yeah.
It's subtle.
And I can get it more even, I think. As long as I pay attention to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But the longer I go over an area, it is going to start graying out. Mm-hmm. I got a little close. But now, because I did that, I'm just going to keep doing it at other places. And we're just going to tell everybody I did it on purpose.
Spence says it looks awesome.
There you go. Back out a little bit because some areas are lighter. Right now my goal is to make those clouds feel like everything goes together, even though I made them up. So back here is darker, so we are going to go darker. Sorry, I gotta move my head so I can see.
Gary, it might be better using that. Like I said, we could.
What's that?
Yeah, like we could find a replacement screw, because there is a nut on the back end of it.
There is.
You know, but
let's see here. I said this stuff right here needed to go darker. Let's go ahead and just darken that up.
Spence says, "Yep, it's bringing it to life."
Yep. Lights and darks make all the difference.
They really do.
Your line drawing could be off because you're still learning or whatnot. But if you get those lights and those darks right, nobody's going to really know unless it's a person. They're not going to know if the flower is a little off or the tree is a little off. Those darks, they make a world of difference.
Yeah.
So I could go with a smaller tip in order to kind of bypass some areas. But we're in a hurry. I don't want to keep switching tips. I'm going to go with the direction of what the rock face is doing. It's going like in this direction, so I'm trying to angle the gun for that same line. Now I'm angling the gun this way in order to kind of go along that burn line and just burn on one side of it.
Carmen says, "Yep. I'm slowly learning that. Thanks, Valarie."
Yeah. This needs some more darks down here. But I can angle to follow a line. I can always go back with the burner and even things out if I miss a spot.
You know, it really doesn't look like it's changing the color all that much to me.
I'm trying to be careful with that.
Yeah, I can see a little bit of gray, but not... It's mostly matching.
What I'll do is I'll wipe this down so we can get a better idea of what the color is going to be.
Okay.
See, I'm trying to follow the lines of the sand. And that's why I'm not going this way, I'm going this way. This is going to be darker up here because the cliff in front is going to block it. Back off. We do have lights still coming in here. So, on camera. This will also do good to get cloud shapes on the cliffs. So let's darken it down here.
Troy says, "Oh my God, it's so slow."
It actually moves faster than hand burning.
Yeah, it does.
The first piece I did with this is an 18 by 24.
Yeah.
Sorry, 20 by 24. Burn-wise, I got done in under 5 days with using this and a torch. In fact, I think I do want to go back with the torch to kind of separate some of those dunes.
So what would the torch bring that the heat gun doesn't?
Faster, darker.
Okay. But
I mean, they do the same.
Will it change the tone?
If I'm not careful, it will go black.
Okay.
So now we got some depth going on. Depth going on amongst these rocks.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that.
I'm trying to leave some light areas just so we can see shapes.
Yeah. No, I think that's smart. Kind of reminds me of, it's also very similar to watercolor washes.
Yeah. Some of these need to go darker. Yeah, we're starting to get some shape going. Alright. See, I can go over it where I've got dark rocks and just kind of blend them to make them a little darker. A little more shape to them. Go. You want our buddies show up or something?
Well, Burl's here, but she's not talking.
No, that's not what I meant.
Huh?
That's not what I meant.
Oh, no. No, we don't have any trolls.
Alright.
Not yet.
I'm going to let this handpiece cool off for a minute. We're going to go back over with the torch to separate and give a little bit more shape to where I've already... Come on. Do I need to fill it up again? I guess I do, maybe.
So I didn't burn myself burning, but I burnt myself last week. They're toasties.
Oh, on corn.
Yeah. So I don't know if that counts as far as your, I know you guys got a pool going, so. Oh, Burl's got allergies today.
I'm sorry.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, it is spring now.
Yeah.
Alright. You're supposed to wait 3 minutes. Hopefully we can get go. If I get too close, it will gray even more. It's already grayed.
I really like that. I really like the torch because even though you don't see the flame, you see the light from the flame, and then acts as an aiming reticle. I think that's really cool.
You see, it's the same color pretty much as the heat gun. Almost said airbrush. Maybe I need to come up with a new term.
Well, Spence says he thinks some gray works well with it.
But
On the when I burned myself,
yeah.
Troy said he lost that pool because he had it within 5 minutes of them starting the pool that I burned myself. Thanks for the vote of confidence, Troy. Appreciate it.
That's what you get from your best friend, huh?
I don't know. He knows me well, though.
Alright, tilt this so I can get a little closer. If I'm careful, I think I have a little bit more control with the torch now with this tip. You asked about the differences.
Okay.
I think. And it also does move quicker.
I could see that.
Does move quicker. It's still on camera?
Yep.
Alright. Turn it off.
Funny try.
Yeah. Went dark there. Went dark there. We'll just say I did it on purpose. Nobody gotta know. So I will just do it in many other places.
I really like that. I really like the quality that that's bringing to this. This speaks to me.
Speaks to you.
Yeah. It's
This is fire.
This looks really good.
Because it's
Speaking
fire.
to me.
So this is lighter back here, except for right here.
Alright, you're almost off camera.
God, bring me down. Bring me down. See, if I push in one area, it's really going to darken up. So on the water, I'm going to back out. Come down here so we can see. I'm going to back out, move quickly. Because there's lights in the water I don't want to lose. I'm going to be careful with my easel. Dark some of this up. Not trying to make it overly obvious, but it does need to be darker.
Yeah.
I've got it pretty light. And I think it's light because it can be hard to make yourself go, it got to be darker and go darker to start with.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a little nerve-wracking. I need to angle this so that
Oh yeah, I understand that.
I get the direction of my water correctly. So trying to make sure I keep moving, because the minute I stop, I am going to get the heat blob, the air blob. Pull it off and come back. Yeah, this water definitely needed to be darker.
Mm-hmm. Looks good though. Oh wow. You can really see the chamber heating up on the torch.
Oh yeah, that's how you know it's going. It's supposed to do that.
Okay.
It's supposed to do that. Let's darken this
Looks
other.
hot. Looks dangerous.
It is hot. There's a flame right there.
I know.
Don't touch.
I see that.
So let's darken up our.
Keep that away from me.
That's why I warn you when I gotta hand you something. Let's start darkening up these layers right here.
I'm just letting you know we're coming up on the hour.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure they can see a difference in.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay.
When I look away, I am trying to pull the torch off. I don't necessarily do it with the heat gun, but the torch, yeah. Let's back it off.
Yeah, I got some fire extinguishing materials here.
I don't need it. It's hot air. I mean, if I...
There's a fire in there.
Yes. Yes, here. Now I need to darken some of these areas. Now we got layers in between levels. So I can go more blurry back here. And then some here. I pulled back further away and I'm moving quicker, and just to get a lighter.
Yeah.
Definitely saving some time. I know that Troy said it was slow, but she just saw how long it took to get the burning this far.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, camera I am. Sorry, I'm darkening up the top. Spin it. See where I'm at. Now, does it look like the clouds are starting to fit in more?
It does. I think it does.
And we have some clouds that are actually on there. That's what this right here is. This right here is the cliff casting shadow.
Yeah.
I got an air blob. Turn my heat down all the way so I can maybe get in closer.
Troy says he thinks that everything is too slow. Everything.
Everything.
It's not just you.
Oh, I went really dark on that.
Just everything. Yeah, I think it looks good though.
But because of how dark I went on this, I need other darks in order
Oh yeah.
to balance it out.
Definitely. Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see that now.
Yeah. So I need other darks equal to...
Yeah.
Now closer up, it's one thing when it's further behind for it to be blurry. It should be blurry, but closer up, I'm probably going to have to use a pen to get more texture here.
Okay.
Just to make sure I don't lose that. All this back here should be somewhat blurry compared to this.
Yeah.
So I can go back in with a pen and get a little bit more detail. The torch definitely, with the hot air attachment, definitely like opens the door. Maybe I need some more darks in here. Just trying to define a little bit more. And I haven't been overly practicing these techniques with birch, so I think there's things I still need to somewhat figure out.
Okay.
But it's one thing when you start with a piece that you already like make plans to do these things with versus coming in on a piece later.
Yeah.
But I do need some more darks. These darks will make all the difference. All the difference. I want some angry clouds in here. See, the longer I stay on a spot, what I'm going to do is not outline the whole top with dark. I'm going to bring it up. Definitely would have helped if I would have pulled a photo of an actual thunderstorm. That would have helped me visualize how I want some of this to look.
What are we doing next week?
Oh, that's a good question. I still owe lives to the Super Toasties. I haven't been ignoring them. I'm trying to get ready for the show. Oh, we didn't tell everybody. Only the Super Toasties know.
Ah.
You want to tell them?
Sure. So we both got into the show. I didn't think I was going to because Val got her notification and then I got nothing. But it turned out that I had gotten my notification. It just went to spam. So,
but I checked that.
Yeah.
But not when they had sent it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're both in Night Visions 2022.
Yay. So that means that I've got to finish up my piece too. I mean, it's done, but I've got to
varnish it,
and I've got to finish the bottom of it because the bottom edge needs a matching paint. So.
You asked me the difference between the heat gun and the torch, and I did find that if I went through with the torch first, actually if I went through with the heat gun first, then came with the torch to darken up areas even more, and then came back with the heat gun, it smoothed out the dark areas.
Okay.
Like we went super dark right there.
Thank you, Spence. Yeah, I'm excited because this is the first show that we've been in, and the first show we've both been in
a long time.
For a while. I mean, we were at the county fair together.
Yeah.
But
and we've done local shows of our own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's put a cloud here.
Sometimes it's nice to get into shows to remind me that I'm an actual artist. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it.
Let's see here. See, I feel it needs more up here. What I'm going to do before I go any further is I'm actually going to pull some thunderstorms.
Some references?
Yeah.
Okay.
That way I can get it really the way I want it.
Okay.
So blurry, let's blur.
Carmen, I did a nebula.
I posted in the super group.
Yeah, we both did nebulas actually. So different approaches. So Val did the
Heat gun and torch.
You did what was it? Which nebula?
Yeah,
but what's it called?
It's a made up one.
Oh, okay.
But I'm using the Corvus star constellation in it.
Okay. And I'm not using any known constellations. It's based on called the Star Queen Nebula, which is also called the Eagle Nebula. So it's based on that, but it's not a literal interpretation of it. It is a very loose interpretation of it. So.
So yeah, I need to just keep working this, but we can already see.
You can see a lot of difference. More depth.
Where's this blowing? There we go. Hi. Yeah, you can already see the depth starting to come out. I will detail it more. And I would feel better for my peace of mind to get a reference that I like to continue with the clouds. But clouds with the heat gun and torch. As for next week, that's a good question because I'm not sure. I need to pull the I need to start working with my burner again. I feel like it's been forever. Even though I was working on Super Toasty Gifts.
Really?
Last week, it still feels like it's been forever. So that would mean starting a new piece.
When are we doing the recap of all your pieces?
When they're all done. When they're all done. What would you guys like to see?
Forever Learning Art is here.
I believe that's Michael Ann.
Oh.
That's Michael Ann. Hey, Michael
okay.
Ann.
That's been a while.
It has been a while.
Good to see you.
Let's see what they say about what they want to see.
What do you want? What do you want?
What do you want from me? I give it to you. What do you want?
God, this live stream has made me hungry. So hungry right now. What's the deal with that?
So Carmen says blurry is logical only for photos. The eyes see clearly for great distances. That's not actually true. Our brain fills a lot of information in. A lot of information. And then if I take off my glasses... Who are you?
Huh?
Who are you?
Don't worry about it.
Are you...
Just keep looking.
Stranger in the studio.
So, I think I can explain that. So, when you're looking at, with just your eyes, if you look in the distance, you see it clearly. You look in the foreground, you see it clearly. Just because your eyes focus so quickly. Like, you can do that exercise on your own. But if you, stare at something, say if you stare at, a car, without trying to look in the distance, the stuff that you're not focused on is going to be blurry until you look at it. And that's kind of what you're trying to replicate.
Let me see if I can replicate it. Alright. Think of it as, my mother explained it to me when I was started driving very long time ago. If you focus on just this brush, if you only don't look at anything else, just stare at the tweezers on the brush. Everything behind it is blurry. But if I tell you to focus on the background, everything comes into view. So it's so hard to...
You can do this exercise actually in reverse. You can look in the distance, and then you can bring your finger into the foreground.
Yes, thank you. That's a good one.
Your finger is not going to be in focus because you're looking past it. So, and then once you look at your finger, it'll be in focus. But if you look back and forth from your finger to the foreground and you don't really think about it, you think, oh, it's always in focus. But it's not. It's your eyes doing that because they are the most efficient at doing that.
Yeah. So basically, your eyes go a step further than the camera. The camera isn't changing depth of field so much as your eyes are.
Yeah.
In order to keep everything as visually clear. And that's where the difference between a photo and your eyes. Your eyes have that ability to immediately in your brain to immediately make those adjustments, whereas a camera, unless you change the setting or you alter something, it's going to pick up the depth of field a different way.
And it's also why when you create a piece of art, if you put everything in focus, it will have a tendency to look flat, no matter how much contrast you
Flat and overwhelming because all of the textures coming at you at once.
Mm-hmm. So your brain will think, oh, it looks further away, but I can see it clearly all at once. and so it's going to read that it's flat. Your brain is going to tell your eyes are going to tell your brain. It's going to be interpreted that, oh, this is a flat object.
Yeah.
So it is the illusion that we create by putting some things out of focus or creating more haze or different color values, to create atmospheric perspective, to trick the brain into thinking that it's looking at something real.
Sorry, I'm thinking Carmen wants tiny saplings, and I don't think I have anything started with tiny saplings.
I mean, that could be like just a separate thing, though, right?
He would have to send me a photo of what he means by tiny saplings, and I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
Because right now I think that means more sanding, because I'd have to use a new piece of wood. Although I guess I could
use paper.
Yeah, I could. We'll work it out.
Spence will be at the vets next week, so we missed the live.
Well, I hope Tex is okay.
Carrie says, I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care. Anything. I don't care. I don't care. I don't know what I'm going to do.
And Michael Ann says that's beautiful. Well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Carmen said, oh, I'm reading Carmen's thing again. I forgot she was asking about the show. And then I reread it and I was like, what have you done for the show, Jason? I don't know. I'm just the hubcap, Carmen. I'm just here. I don't really do much.
No, in the secret Super Toasty
That's
group,
why I don't get paid.
There's a post specific about Jason's painting, and I posted a picture of his painting, so you can see it in the group. So, I'm sorry. I hope all will be fine.
Yeah.
I have to admit my eyes are blurry because I was,
Mm-hmm.
And so I and Spencer, I am in no way making fun of Tex. But I thought you were asking a question about hubcap.
Yeah, I thought it was a comment
about hubcap.
Like, you don't know me, Spence. You don't know what's going on. How does he know?
So my positive energy for Tex.
Yes.
That had nothing to do with him.
Right.
I thought you were talking about hubcap.
Yeah. Carmen says that's because her saplings turned into 4-leaf.
But I think what you did for your bears totally worked. I do. I think it totally worked. Saplings, I'm thinking. Because I did do these grasses in different shapes on a live. Which would be similar. I'm trying to think. Did I do any moss on camera?
The hummingbird queen. There's a lot of moss.
It does have a lot of moss.
What about the bear that you're doing? Because a sapling is essentially a small tree.
Yes, it is. But
What about the snake? Does the snake have any saplings in it?
It has grasses.
Ah.
The snake has grasses. Because I thought about that too. And I need to get that done. I will see what I can figure out. Oh. Sheila, you let me forget. And Carrie, you forgot to remind Sheila.
Is Sheila still in chat?
I'm not sure. She was
Well, okay. So what's going on?
Alright, so last week while we were working on the nebula, I was having issues with the Dick Blick board bubbling. And we saw it like in real time. And I was concerned about it because my other board, my test board, essentially wasn't doing that. I contacted Blick like 10 minutes after the live, and I took photos before I even left the studio. I contacted Blick I had my order number through the live chat, got immediately connected, told them what happened. I actually had contacted technical support. He immediately transferred me over to customer service, and Jessica at customer service was like, he read what I'd already written, so I didn't have to write it. And it was immediately verify your address. We're shipping you a new one. I already have the new board. Unfortunately, my second board order, I contacted them yesterday morning, and that has already shipped as well. So if you're worried, if you watched the live stream last week and you're worried about that, Dick Blick has been absolutely fabulous about fixing it and sending me a new one. They do instruct you to toss the old board, and they send you a new one. I think it took 4 days total from the time I contacted them. So I contacted them on Tuesday, and I got it on Saturday. So I should hopefully means I'll get my other board on this Friday. So I just wanted to be able to make sure that if I should have done this earlier in the live and totally spaced it. And I'm just teasing you, Sheila. Because I want to make sure that if you watched last week's live and you watched me have issues, that you know Dick Blick fixed it. Like, immediately. I ended up disconnecting the live chat and came back in. That wasn't on Jessica, but it was within 5 minutes. Yep, in stock. Verified your address, and boom, it is being shipped.
Nice.
And then they gave me a email address to. They requested photos just for their records, which wasn't a problem. It was okay. Thanks, we got your photos, and shipped. So I just wanted to make sure that Blick got the positive response that they deserve in fixing the situation.
Gotcha.
So.
See?
Oh no!
Yeah, you saw that.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Sheila. May it be quick and the least amount of painless. Please let us know how you're doing in a couple of days. I understand today and chill and be about you.
Yeah.
And let us know how. Is it the stealth? Because I know that's big in UK right now. I hope not.
Troy misheard you.
On which one? There was a B before that L. Troy, there was a B before that L. We could put it on the screen, and not going to get hit for it because I didn't say it.
No. But at least he didn't say.
No! Stupid. I have to end this.
It's in your head.
Now it's in your head.
Oh, God. Ow.
All right. All right, we're going to... I got to get on him now. Stop it. There's a certain word that triggers laughter in me, and he's saying it. Stupid! He wants to end the live instead of me.
No.
You know what to say with me.
I do.
Let me get to it. You're awesome. You can do this. Why? Because you're a pyro artist. Happy burning. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you haven't subscribed already. See you next week. Happy burning. Bye.